AM 1170, The Answer.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesday. This is Jason Hall, the co-host. Kyle Whissel, our host, just made it into studio. Kyle, how was the traffic coming out of Santee?
Oh, it was lovely, Jason. It's so pleasant when a semi-truck breaks down in the middle of the freeway.
Of a 2-lane freeway.
Yeah, it was pleasant. But it wasn't as bad as the freeways yesterday when the Amazon truck caught on fire on the 15 during rush hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know Monday, right at our exit there at Claremont Mesa, coming down 15 South, one of the trucks was going to 52 East, went on the churn that we've all been on, right? That it's almost like a full 360 churn, tipped the truck over.
Yep.
And that closed down that exit, and that was like a Monday afternoon. So a lot of stuff's going on. I'm sure with all the holidays, lots of packages getting delivered at your office. I know at my office we're getting tons of packages because it's the holiday season. Right, Steve?
Yes, it is.
All right, so back in studio, left to right, Steve Winter with the Whissel team. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, thank you.
We were just talking to Renee Linton, our probate and professional corporate attorney here. She handles probate, trust, and estates for over 20 years. A graduate of California Western Law.
Correct.
Again, good job.
Yes,
and Mr. Kyle Whissel, the man, normally running the show.
It's nice to be on the other side of the table
Yeah, you're
today.
setting in mind. We'll have to turn around the we haven't used any voice buttons. We'll have to run a few voice buttons you'll have to do for me. So, Renee, we were just talking about trust planning when we went to break, right?
Right.
And you were talking about during the break, conservatorship, guardianship, durable power attorney. I'm not even probably saying it right. You're looking at me funny. Steve's funny. Steve, help me out.
Oh, with the financial aspect of it. So I've never been in an escrow where unfortunately somebody passed away before the transaction closed. But Renee brought up a great point where you can keep that escrow alive and keep the wishes of whether it was husband and wife, individuals, partners, whomever, but you still proceed with the sale of the home. So if you want to explain to the listeners what that does for them so that nothing just stops or ends because there was something put in place. So if you want to just express how important that durable power of attorney is for financial matters, I think that's a big deal for our listeners.
Right. Part of a complete estate plan is to have a trust, a will, a durable power of attorney for health care, and a durable power of attorney for financial management. And what the financial management power of attorney does, it allows you to name an agent to act for you and to take care of your financial dealings if you're unable. And it can be immediately enacted, say, for an elderly person who really can no longer take care of their financial needs, or it can come into action if, say, 2 physicians certify that you can no longer act. And so it's a very good way to have your life go on, have your assets taken care of without having, again, to go into probate court. And it just takes planning and getting...
And that's the key word, planning. Right? That's the key word. You got to make a plan.
Right.
A lot of people say it and don't actually follow up. It's coming on New Year's. You're better off to schedule Renee now, get her on the books either this year or early next year, because I'm sure you get a lot of calls at the beginning of the year each year because people start thinking about it. But so many people don't act, right?
I'm really busy right now just tying up things, people wanting to get their plan done before the end of the year. They're wanting to travel for the holidays and want that security of knowing that everything's done before they go off on their
Because you
trip.
never know. You're right. Even on a trip. Right. We talked about expiration date. I found out Monday morning 2 of my friends passed on.
Oh,
right. One was like 40 years old with a couple kids. Another one was just short of 50. She passed away on cancer. She was stage 4. She was in a hospice. So at least they had the family was a little bit prepared, even though it was maybe only a couple of weeks, which is horrible. But there's never a good time. Right. And that's why you want to plan. You want to be prepared so that when you do go, your family's going to be taken care of the way you want it done. And you don't want the government, or in this case, a judge, to step in and tell, your family, here's how it's going to get divided, here's what's going to go on. I would hate for that to happen.
And it's very hard when you're grieving, you're dealing with the loss of someone, and then you're also having to go to court and deal with how to distribute their estate. Having a proper plan changes all of that.
All right,
you don't have to go through that.
How much are we looking as far as time? I know it's different depending on complex questions, but just general, is it an hour meeting with you to set up a plan? Is it a 2 hour? Is it 3 meetings? What are we talking about, Renee?
I typically meet with my clients maybe up to 4 times over the planning period. I'll give them an estate plan questionnaire. They can have that at home in their leisure, fill it out, think about it. It's pretty comprehensive.
Okay.
And then I sit and talk with them, get to know them, go over more specifically what their wishes are, and then we start to draft. And we send them drafts. Again, let them look at them. We talk about them.
Just to confirm, be 100% certain this is what they want.
Right. It's questions is even to the point of, do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? Do you have a specific burial plan in mind?
I hate that part of the forms.
Yeah,
That's the worst.
I was like, no, but you got to make that decision. Again, you don't want somebody else to make it, right? Now that you have a young daughter there, Kyle, you don't want your daughter to make that decision for you. That's something you got to make a decision on, right? Steve,
Right.
I know you had some more questions for Renee as well.
Well, I was questions, yes, but also a statement. I remember when I got life insurance, once I had the life insurance in place, you feel the sense of relief. So just like what you're saying, for people that want to get things wrapped up before the holiday season, before the year's end, just having that peace of mind, so God forbid something does happen, you've got all of a sudden this framework that says, no matter what, I know that whomever I'm looking to take care of, should something happen to me, is done.
Right.
They're in great hands.
And life insurance is a great example of that, especially when you have small children, or you have a wife that's not working, or,
Because you're a small percentage of income compared to the family income.
Right.
Sure.
Right. It makes a huge difference in the quality of life. And term policies don't cost that much. So that's part of what we talk about during the planning process.
Just the planning, right? That's just a financial plan. That's just part of the overall financial plan. Have a trust, have some life insurance, have some smart investments, make a plan. That's key.
One of the other things that I wanted to just bring light on to the listeners, and from a realtor's standpoint, what a lot of people don't understand, when, let's say, the real estate agent starts working with you once everything has gone through probate, letters have been assigned, what I'd love for people to truly understand is the differences in what's called full authority versus limited authority, and the things that happen when you're trying to sell real estate as far as distributing assets and moving on through the estate. And if you can also just let the listeners know what that means, because if they have to go through probate, and whoever is going to be the administrator, it's limited authority, let's just say, and there was no bond that could be put on them, and it had to go in that direction. Please enlighten the listeners, because this is something I don't think enough people talk about with what happens over bids, things like that in real estate. And I'd love to shed a little bit of light and why people need to call you, Renee Linton, as far as understanding this process, so that you can move away from the courts making these decisions and the heartaches and the infighting that can take place. So please just enlighten the listeners as to how vital that is in the real estate process.
And Renee, while you're thinking of that, you brought up a good question. I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of Renee.
Sure.
One of the ways you can get a hold of any of us is through the Whissel hotline. That's 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. That number goes directly to Kyle Whissel. He'll introduce you to Renee, introduce you to Steve, anybody else we have on the show, but I want to make sure I got that out and gave you a few seconds to think about that question.
I would always petition the court for full authority. I would never seek limited authority. So I guess the short answer for that is, if you have to go to probate, hire a competent attorney who knows the law and knows what needs to be done, so that your client can get through the process quickly and get what your client needs to get done. So full authority is much better than limited authority. With limited authority, you have to have the judge watch every step along the way and approve what you're seeking to do. With full authority, you really only need to give notice and then do whatever it is you need to do to get that real estate sold and get the estate closed. With
a limited authority, we're almost running out of time, but please let the listeners know what that means for an overbid process. Even if they get an offer on a property, it's not done because of an overbid process on limited authority.
Right. So then, the property, it will not sell, and it could take a long period of time to try to get the property sold.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that when we come right up, because I want to talk about some real estate on things to avoid. If you have parents, if you have family that has assets, especially real estate assets, how you can prepare in case of their death so that you don't have to go through probate. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesday. We'll be right back.